Now let's jump to the one of the key important function of organization, which is procurement and material planning. So basically, this function is performing techniques and methods to determine in advance about the requirement of raw materials. And to do that, they also do buying of raw materials from right sources at right time and right prices, and making those products available for manufacturing team or for a direct distribution to the customer. So some key matrices, the first key metrics that we will be looking is cost reduction. So cost impact basically. So cost reduction is one of the key parameter in every supply chain function, and hence for materials management and procurement, as these functions are involved with many cost decisions, which includes like purchasing price finalization or contract finalization with supplier. It also deals with transportation cost, warehousing cost, inventory cost, administrative cost, or other cost factors. Cost reduction can be calculated in two different ways, as first is cost saving and second is cost avoidance. Now, first is cost saving, which is also referred as hard savings, where usually budget versus spend comes into the picture. Cost saving is a key to reduce cost year on year. It is very important that cost is reduced year on year, where spendings are reduced as compared to historical spend that organization have done in the past. Thus, cost saving has major contribution in cutting the cost to improve the profitability. On the other side, the second measurement is cost avoidance, which is potential cost reduction impact for the future, where generally there is no baseline set, and cost avoidances are also sometimes referred as a soft savings. So let's see some basic difference between two, the cost saving and cost avoidance. So we already seen like cost saving is any action that results in a tangible financial benefit that lowers current spending, investment, or debt levels. Or on the other side, cost avoidance is any action that avoids having to incur costs into the future. Now, cost saving measures are reflected in the financial statements and next year's budget, which is very important point to compare cost saving and cost avoidance. And similarly, cost avoidance measures are never reflected in the financial statements and in next year's budget. They will only be reflected in situation where the proposed action is not implemented, resulting in a cost increase. Now let's move to the next metrics, which is on-time deliveries. In a context of on-time delivery, it stands on two dimensions. One is on-time delivery of suppliers, and second is on-time delivery for customers. In on-time delivery of suppliers, it measures suppliers' performance based on their commitments or lead times. However, in on-time delivery for customers, it is simply an organization's performance for its customers. Let's take an example of first dimension, which is on-time delivery of suppliers. So on-time delivery of supplier is an indicator which is calculated as total number of shipments or sometime order lines shipped by supplier on committed date out of or divided by total number of shipments or order lines committed to ship on that day by the supplier. And this is again measured into percentage, and that's why we are multiplying it with 100. This indicator is usually measured in buckets like weekly bucket or monthly bucket, or sometimes there is a tolerance limit of a few days before and few days after the committed date, which may be different with different organizations. Let's take an example where no tolerance or no weekly bucket is considered. Let's say we are measuring on-time delivery of supplier on particular day, and let's take that example as 5th of June. Then on-time delivery of suppliers, we already know like number of lines shipped by supplier on 5th of June divided by total number of lines committed by supplier to be shipped on 5th of June in 200. Let's take some dummy numbers here. So on time delivery, we consider let's supplier have shipped 95 lines on 5th of June. However, supplier had committed 100 lines to be shipped on 5th of June. And that's why the on time delivery of supplier comes to 95%. Similarly, on-time delivery of customer is possible to calculate based on organization's commitment to its customers and the actual performance. Ideally, on-time delivery has to be as more as possible. Now let's take one of the key important metrics, that is order and documentation accuracy rate. So this performance is moreover on purchasing or buying role. In this calculation, total number of orders sent to supplier with complete and correct information is considered, and it is divided by total number of orders sent to supplier in that particular time frame. And this is again measured in a percentage. This indicator helps to understand internal administrative issues like changes on orders like quantity, prices, terms and condition, or delivery schedules. This metrics can also be part of customer service team's performance, where customer service team is generating order acknowledgements for the purchase orders which are received from the customers. Ideally, order and documentation accuracy has to be as more as possible. Our next matrix is percent of sales loss due to supply issues. So from the customer satisfaction point of view, when customer cancels orders due to insufficient capacity of the firm or shortages or back orders or any other reason which are related to wrong planning from supply department, this indicator is calculated as loss of sales in currency divided by total order value from customer in same currency in particular time frame. So this ratio can also be calculated as percentage, but sometimes it is better or more effective to show it in a currency. In an ideal situation, percentage of sales loss due to supply issues has to be as low as possible. Our next matrix is cash to cash cycle. So cash to cash cycle is one of the key matrices used to measure how cash flow is happening. Cash to cash cycle is the time between when a business pays to its supplier and when the business receives payment from its customers. The cash to cash cycle is usually expressed in days. So the formula for cash to cash cycle is simply date of materials payment to supplier minus date of receiving customer's payment. Let's take an example of a mobile manufacturer, and we will have three assumptions. The first assumption is mobile manufacturer makes payment to its supplier after 60 days, and mobile manufacturer takes average 40 days to sell its mobiles after manufacturing. Mobile manufacturer receives payment of mobiles sold from its distributor after 30 days on an average. Then cash to cash cycle will be 40 days inventory outstanding plus 30 days payment outstanding from customer minus 60 days payable outstanding to supplier. And that comes to 10 days. In an ideal situation, a business should have lower cash to cash cycle to represent the good performance.